Hello, can everyone hear me? Yeah. Okay, cool. This is really neat because this is the exact room that we run our Girls Make Games demo day in. Has anyone heard of Girls Make Games? No? So this is, you have, awesome, one person. So we teach middle school and high school girls how to design and program video games. My name is Laila Shabir. I'm the founder and CEO of Learn District and Girls Make Games. What that means is I actually make video games myself and also teach girls how to make video games. So you can imagine video games are a big, big part of my life. Unfortunately, they were not a big part of my life for a long, long time. And that is the time that I'm going to talk about first. I grew up in the Middle East, in the United Arab Emirates. Can anyone spot the camel? There is a camel there. Do you see the camel? That's where I grew up. And I did not ride a camel to school. I get that question a lot. It's kind of weird. But there were a lot of camels out on the street, and if you hit one, you could actually go to jail, because they're kind of precious. So my life before coming here was very different. I moved here when I was 18 for college. But before that, because I was growing up in the Middle East, being a girl means a completely different thing. You guys all like to play outside? Do you ever get to go outside and play? Yeah. No one tells you you can't go outside because you're a girl, right? But that's what my life was. I wanted to go out and play soccer, and I couldn't. I wanted to wear Vans with Zelda on them, and I couldn't. Instead, well, that's me. That's me not happy because I did not like taking pictures, so a lot of my pictures, this is my best smile right now. This is me in middle school. That's our middle school uniform, so everyone had to wear the scarf and everything. And, I'm the one on the right, also not happy because I'm in a picture. So whoever's taking pictures of me right now will see that. And this is me when my life changed. At 18, I got into MIT and I moved to Cambridge, Massachusetts. And so I flew 20-something hours alone, and I cried the whole way, and I made it out. But then I was like, you know what? This is really great because I'm on my own and I can do anything I want, which was a big problem before. Anytime I wanted to do anything I wanted, I was not allowed to. There were very strict rules. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys perspective about how life is different for girls not here. Yeah, so when I ended up at MIT, it was like a whole new world, like the Disney song, opened up to me. And I could be an artist or an engineer or a doctor or, I could have an ice cream truck, all these things that I wanted to do as a kid. Can someone here kind of tell me what degree you need to get or what major you need to have to become a founder of a company? Yeah, on the back. An MBA? Any others? Yes. College degree? A college degree. Or anyone else? Yes. Sorry? A degree in business. So the cool thing is, you don't need anything to start a company except a dream. And I did go to MIT, which is a computer science heavy school, but I ended up majoring in economics, which did give me a really good background and kind of foundation on how resources work and how you can make money and what is money and do we need money and what do people do. But at that time, really, I was 19, 20, and I wasn't really thinking about starting a company. I mean, that seems really daunting, right? What does it mean to run a company? Do I need an MBA? I thought I needed an MBA to become a CEO, but you really don't. That's the great part. And you're in Silicon Valley, you kind of need to get rid of that mindset where it says, I need to do X to become a founder. Really, all you need is an idea and dedication. So I had all these noble, lofty dreams on how to change the world, and I wanted to make a difference, and I ended up on Wall Street, where I was not making a difference, unfortunately. I was doing a lot of this. I still don't understand what it is, so don't worry about it. Like, I was doing it, and I didn't know what the heck it was. Basically, number crunching. And so I was like, you know what? It would be great if I went down to Washington, D.C., because that's where everyone's making policy. What is policy? Well, these are all the laws and kind of governance rules and I could make a difference in education. What if I became like the education minister, and then I could start all these schools and have impact? So a very important part of my childhood was going to school, because at school I could be a different person. At home, I had to be a certain way, but at school I got to go away and learn about all these things and all these people who were doing things in my textbooks, but I couldn't. But it was still a great dreamland for me. It's kind of like an annoying kid kind of at the front of the class raising my hand. Hermione Granger, do you guys have Hermione Grangers in your class? Yeah, that was me. Not particularly proud of that part of my life, but I was just so excited to be there. So I ended up on Capitol Hill. I was in Washington, D.C., trying to do policy for a year. And I thought I would be changing the world, but I ended up doing this again. Like, what the heck is up with data? Like, just because I'm an economist and I went to MIT, I would constantly get all of the statistical analysis and all the numbers kind of thrown at me and say, hey, go make sense of this, and what is inflation? And I was just like, man, I just want to make a difference. The other thing that I realized working in policy was it's a little slow for the kind of person that I am. And I realized even if I ended up doing something really important and amazing, it would be a long time before it actually took place and had the impact that I wanted. So I kind of look forward to where I would be when my work had, come to fruition. And this came to mind. I would be long dead by that time. I was like, this is way too slow. I can't do this. I gotta think of something different. And nothing really came to mind. But it was a cool time because I was seeing this boy at that time, and he was a professional video game player. Yeah, he played Halo. Does anyone recognize Halo? Cool, so Halo is it's a first-person shooter, kind of where you're shooting aliens in space, and it's really cool. But I met him, and I asked him what he did for a living, and he said he played Halo. And I was like, yeah, but what do you, how do you pay your rent? He's like, I play Halo. And I was like, okay, tell me more. So you could be playing video games to make a living if you are really into it and are really good at it. Now, my immediate thought, and I'm sure a lot of your parents can relate to that, was, what a loser, right? He's just playing video games all day. Like, look at me, I'm so smart. I have all these degrees and, job experience. And turns out he's like a nationally ranked Putnam mathematician. So Putnam, for anyone, is like a national competition for mathematicians. And this guy can do math, he's smart. Why is he wasting all this time with video games? So I started watching him and hanging out more with him. Turns out playing a video game and being really good at it is really hard. And you can't just do it, you can't not think and just keep playing and get really good at it. You have to think, you have to do math. You have to improve your critical thinking, you need to strategize, you need to come up with all these tactics on the spot. That was hard. I was like, I am not putting all this time into this, but that's great that you can do this. Now, watching him I had a light bulb moment where you're like, oh my God, this makes sense. How do we take all of this passion and energy? I'm sure you guys have friends that are really into something that they like. It could be, playing games, watching movies, hanging out with friends, but you forget about sleep. You forget about food because you're so into what you're doing. How do we take that passion and drive and dedication and translate to something like studying? Because again, that's my life, right? I need to study, but I know a lot of people really hate reading textbooks. I understand, they are very boring. So if you could turn a textbook into a video game, wouldn't that be amazing? And that was really the premise of where we launched Learn District.
This is you playing games.
Ooh,
this is
we have
you
some audio?
studying. Games, studying. Why can't studying be more like games? At Learn District, we think it can. We're making games that get you grades. The problem with educational games today is that they're boring, ineffective, and are about as attractive to real gamers as a broken glass popsicle. Educational games don't suck because they teach. They suck because they're not made to be fun. Truth is, all games teach. There's a ton of information you need to pick up in order to play games, like strategies, ability mechanics, map positioning. This is all stuff games teach you in order to help you win. Our game is called Penguemic, word domination. You follow a group of power-hungry penguins, hell-bent on asserting their dominion over every species on Earth. It's a fast-paced, addictive experience that combines the thrill of combat with some hilarious enemies. And best of all, you won't spend your time staring at vocabulary words and chewing your desk from boredom. We've got an awesome team of artists, programmers, designers, all living under the same roof and working nonstop to make this dream a reality. And most importantly, we're all gamers. We love games. We play games. We know what makes them fun. We're not interested in making boring games just because they're educational. In fact, if we could make this game on our own, we probably would. Unfortunately, the cost would force us to start eating team members for sustenance. And that's where you come in. We need your help to make education fun again. Help us, help you, help them, help you. That's right, that's the rub, my friends. Learning done easy, learning done fun, learning done right. The next generation of gaming is here, and it starts at Learn District.
So that's where Learn District was born. This was actually the video for our Kickstarter, which ended up raising $50,000 in 2013. And the premise was we were going to take this, which is really boring SAT vocabulary words. Has anyone here started memorizing them yet? Yeah, some people. Yeah, it's so boring. And there really isn't something better to teach you these things. Penguemic kind of takes its cue from context. So the way I learned English when I first moved here was through context. I moved here, I did speak English, but it was definitely not the level where I am today. So I'll give you an example. Let's say colossal. And if I do this gesture with my hands, you immediately kind of get like something big, right? I didn't have to tell you colossal means big. That's context, right? So those are things that Penguemic takes advantage of. And an example here, carnivorous. This one's my favorite. So in game, it's a penguin riding a whale, and it's chucking KFC at the enemy. So that's a KFC bucket in its hand. So we use a lot of humor and entertainment and kind of never really give you the definition. This is just for the presentation. So you don't really see the definition. You see the character, you see it with a KFC bucket, and you kind of immediately know that this penguin eats chicken. So it's not a vegetarian penguin. And here's the game, or trailer for the game. Lasso. Oh, wow, what a lie. Okay, my bad. It never came out in October. It's still pending. That is another thing I learned about video game design and development. It takes a long time to make a game. But it is coming out this year, so if you guys are interested, I can definitely send you links. So while we're kind of making this game and growing our game studio, it's getting more and more obvious to me. So this is my first time in the industry. It's getting more and more obvious to me that this is not a place where a lot of girls hang out. So our team ended up being kind of looking like this. They didn't want to be in the picture, so I had to use a Google image. This is not them. But it was me, my husband, and 5 other dudes. So we were living in the same house together, making the game. And you don't think about these things until it's kind of in your face, because my prior work in finance and policy and education didn't really tell me how bad tech was. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard about how there are few women in tech and that kind of stuff. This is very pertinent to where we are right now. And while that was okay for the game making, I often found myself on the other side of discussion. So the boys would all kind of agree on a point, and I would be on the other end saying, that doesn't make sense to me. And I also was like, is it because I'm not a gamer? Like, what's going on? Why am I so different? Then it hit me. I was like, I'm a girl. And I asked them, I was like, where are the girls? Like, why do we not have any girls? Why are the girls not applying to work here? Like, we're trying to hire girls. And their response was pretty much always, we don't think girls like video games. We don't think girls want to make video games. Video games are boring for girls. Girls are only into fashion and I was like, what about unicorn games? And they were like, no, they're not into that either. That's a lie, right? You guys are into unicorns. I see your boards. Everyone's boards. The shirt was inspired by a game at camp, so. So that's where, I was like, hey, let's experiment and really find out if girls hate video games. And that's where Girls Make Games was born. This was 2014, and actually at this exact museum, loveliest room, we had our first camp that was 3 weeks long, where we played video games, learned, this isn't at the museum, but another camp. We learned how to code, do art, play with VR, and just have an amazing time overall. The thing about video games is you can make a game and then play with your friends, which is what makes it so fun, right? The other fun part about the camp, which is a 3-week annual summer camp, and now it's in 20-something cities in the country, is that we host a national competition in this room. Like I was talking about, we fly out the top 5 teams, and they have like a Shark Tank-like competition. Do you guys know Shark Tank? Yeah, so you have the team pitching their game, and then judges up here in the audience in the back. And they show what they've made and why that's the best game ever and that kind of stuff. And this is from just this past August, actually, a few months ago. And the winners and the team, that's me, the grand prize. The really cool part, my favorite part, is that at the end of everything, demo day, one team, the winning team, gets their game published. And what that means is they get to work with professional artists and mentors and then get their game out on like Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, Android, iOS. So their games are out there for you to buy and enjoy. Actually, I'm going to send you all copies of those games, but let's see the game that actually won the first year, 2014. It's one of my personal favorites. It's called The Whole Story. So this game was designed, directed, written, all of it by a team of 10 to 14-year-old girls. Is that about your age? Yeah. The age group, yeah? Did you guys ever think you'd be able to make a game? Yeah? After today, you should be. Well, you're looking at a game that was made by girls your own age, and it's amazing, and people in the industry love it. So before we go to the next thing, I want to ask you guys, what kind of games do you think girls are interested in? Yes? Unicorns. So we had one just now with unicorns in it. It has a lot of unicorns, actually. Yes, in the back. Drawing. Yes, so art with like really pretty, amazing art. Yes. Anything. Anything what they want to be, exactly. So this next trailer I'm going to show you is actually a 2015 winner. And it kind of surprised a lot of people in the industry because they thought girls just want to make like pink stuff, right? But this one has blood. So the music, so creepy. This is another game that was made by a team of 10 to 15-year-old girls, which is again in your age group. And it actually surprised us, the judges, everyone, where it's like, it's got comedy, but then it's got blood right next to it. And your sister dies within like 5 minutes of the game starting. It's really sad. Yeah, so this game's out. It's actually coming on Xbox this year. But I will send you guys emails. I'll send through Kate. I'll send you all a copy of this game so you can play it. One really cool part about running your own company is you get invited to cool places like this to go talk. This is a picture from our recent trip to the White House. We ran a Girls Make Games workshop at the White House, which was amazing. So all these girls, they represent, I think, 9 states. They flew in from different cities and kind of joined us for the workshop, which was amazing. So I've talked a lot about a lot of different things. You know, when I was little, I wanted to do whatever came my way. Like if I saw an ice cream truck, I'd be like, yeah, I want an ice cream truck. I want to be the founder of an ice cream truck. And if I met an engineer, I'd be like, yeah, I want to be an engineer. The first time I found out about Bill Gates, I was like, I want to be Bill Gates, but Jill Gates. And now I've kind of finally figured out what I want to be. And the answer is I just want to be what I want to be. And that keeps changing, and that's okay. The cool thing about today's economy and today's world is that you really can be whatever you want to be, as long as you're interested in what you're doing and you follow these 2 rules. If there's anything you remember from this talk, it's just these 2 things. Dream big and work hard. A lot of times, your dreams will come at a cost, and the cost is working hard. Like right now, I love running Girls Make Games and making these games and all these things, but all of it comes at the cost of, well, writing 1,000 emails, and that's really not my favorite part of the day. Or, you know, spending a Sunday here. Just kidding. This is nice. This is really fun. I would rather be here. Or just really not fun portions of your job, like dealing with difficult people, especially when you're the boss. And, you know, right now, I'm sure at school, homework is not the best part of your day. But if you do well at things that aren't really what you're passionate about, imagine how well you'll do at things that you can really put your heart into. So that's pretty much all I have, and I will now take questions. Thank you for being here.
What's the 2015 game from the Girls Make Games thingy about?
It's called Interfectorum, and I actually brought postcards for all of you guys, so I have postcards over there with really cool art. It's about a girl named Alice. It's a murder mystery. So do you guys know what a visual novel is? Or a graphic game? So this is a game that kind of reads like a textbook. Sorry, not textbook, like a book or like a comic book. And there's not that much running around or jumping or shooting, but it's a lot of reading and a lot of dialogue and storyline. So it's a visual novel about a girl named Alice whose sister dies, and then she has to go find the killer. And I'm not going to give the twist away because there is a plot twist at the end. Ta ta ta. Any other questions? Oh, over there, yes.
What's the difference between Learn District and Quizlet?
Sorry?
What's the difference between the Girls Make Games and
Girls Make Games and
Quizlet?
Learn District?
And Quizlet.
Quizlet. Oh, okay, so Quizlet is an app that teaches you, it's an app that teaches you kind of, it's not a game per se, right? It doesn't have like a character that you play and fight and do that stuff, is that right? So have you ever played a game? Like on your phone or anywhere, you've played games, right? So games have characters that have stories and they kind of jump around and do these different things, versus with a lot of apps, it's more direct, educational. Learn District's games, the way we envision it, will be video games first and then educational. A lot of educational tools out there are first educational, then entertaining. And so that's the reason why we're placed in the games industry instead of educational industry. Does that make sense? Yeah, okay.
Right, we've got one over here at the orange table.
Yes.
My question is about the penguin game. Is the penguin game for all grades or just one grade?
It's for all grades. The words are really useful because they appear in your SATs. So if you play the game, you will also be ready for your SATs. But it is really for all ages that can read.
So if you're in first grade and you can read a lot of words, you're will it kind of prepare you for the higher grades?
Yeah, exactly. If you play Penguin Make as a first grader, you will be ready for college.
We have a question over purple.
Do you have classes all over the Bay Area, like in
Yes, we do. Our summer camp is all over the Bay Area, and we're trying to expand to more weekend-like sessions, like the one you had today. So like an all-day, but focused on game making. Yeah, keep in touch. Like find our website, and then sign up for more news and updates.
I know there's got to be more questions.
Questions?
Volunteers, instructors, that includes you too.
There's a question.
We have an instructor question.
Okay, what would you say to those who are more artistically inclined? Do they have a place in the
Yes.
gaming community?
The cool part is like games are so visual, right? Have you ever seen a game that you don't see, right? You have to see it, and the better your art and the more creative your art is. Like I think Interfactorum kind of caught everyone's eye because the art is so cool. So yeah, if you're creatively, visually, artistically inclined, games are an amazing way to put those skills to use. And if you can pair that with programming, so if you're an artist who can also code, you are a double, triple, quadruple threat, because that's like a really rare thing to find. So I would say you're learning all the code. If you like art, continue building on your art, but also continue building on your coding. Yep.
We have a chaperone question.
Yes.
Thank you. It's a two-part question. First, for the, I guess, the summer camps that you run, how long are they in duration?
Like 15 days, 3 weeks,
days?
yeah.
And they're all over the area? And also, you get girls together to do some of the programming. What about some of the other pieces that you need to have for that, such as the graphic artist or the person that does sound?
Yeah.
Is that also a part of
That's-
the girls doing that as well?
Yep. So that's part of camp. So we do have an artist day where artist mentors come in and kind of help you develop art for your game. So you'll do your own sketches, and then they do the final art based off of your sketches. And we have an audio day. So because within a game, there's so many different parts. Like there's programming, there's art, there's animation, and animation is just making your art move. There's audio, there's working together as a team. All of these come into modules. So we do teach game audio, and they make their own sound effects. So you can record, if you wanted to record your own cat sound for your cat character, you could just go meow and then record that, and that'll be in the game. Yeah.
We've got another one over here at Orange.
Orange.
I have another question. So in your games, is all the art drawn? Like,
As in hand drawn?
yeah.
No, it's based off of all of the concept art that was drawn by the girls, and then a professional artist. Because this is a game that's going to be published, that's part of the reward. So they get to hire a professional artist for free and make a full game for them.
But sometimes, like in the movie, there's some movies that like Japan, like they will literally draw every scene.
Yeah, so, I see what you mean. So the draw on the tablet? Oh, yeah, that's all drawn. That's all hand-drawn by a tablet. It's actually drawn by a girl named Ramana. She's 19 years old, and she's a college student in Melbourne, Australia.
Wow.
So she started drawing when she was 9, and she's just gotten better, and now she's a professional at 19. Isn't that amazing?
We have a bunch of questions over here to keep going. Over at Pink.
So my first question is Interfactorum available on Windows 10?
Yes, it is. And we'll send you a copy for free.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys will all get Mac and Windows copies.
We have another one over at Purple.
Are your camps in the summer?
Yes, they are in July this year, actually.
We've got another one over here at Orange. On the other side of the room, Orange.
Oh, my bad. Colorblind.
So what programming language do you guys use? And what kind of basic skills do the kids need to have to enroll in those camps?
For introductory levels, we teach using a software called Stencil, which is just a couple of steps above Scratch. So if you have experience with Scratch, or actually if you don't have experience with Scratch, you can still pick up Stencil. If you're an advanced coder, or if you've done Python or Java, we teach them in C# and Unity. Yeah. Oh, what do you need to come code? You just need to want to make a game.
We have a question at Blue.
Blue.
Just out of
yes.
curiosity, Do they make any money from the game?
So the ones that get published, they do have a revenue share. Yeah, and if you come to camp but don't really win like the final prize, we still send you all of the information so that you can get your game published and make money. Entrepreneurial, I like it.
We have a question back at Pink.
Yes.
Have you tried putting your games on Oculus or like?
So none of the games so far we have are virtual reality games. But yeah, we are teaching using Oculus. Did you recognize in the slide? Yeah, so we bring in developers and then we also do a little module where they code in VR. Yeah. Have you guys seen the headsets and experienced virtual reality? Nice. Awesome.
I think we have, do we have one more on that side? All right, so I will ask one more question to wrap things up. So you gave some great advice at the end about dreaming big and working hard. What would you say to someone who has a lot of different interests and wants to do a lot of different things, very similar to how you started out?
Do the thing you're most interested in. No, I'm just kidding. It is really hard. So a creative industry like games and technology is a great way to kind of get started if you're interested in a lot of things. The people who made Interfactorum, believe it or not, the lead on that team wants to be an author. And then after making the game, now she wants to be a games writer because she had so much fun writing the whole script. It's like 100 pages long. So yeah, have fun playing that game. It's really long. If you want to, let's say, make a space station, that's a different place to go, kind of. You know, you have to be a little bit more focused in how you kind of end up there. But if you're looking for something creative, like games and apps and that kind of stuff, movies, they're very, very open. So the more skills that you can develop, the more valuable you will be as you get older. So I started learning how to code when I was 11. I started drawing when I was much younger. I don't know if you guys recognize, but I did a lot of the audio recording for the clips. So I started voice acting at 30, which is like last year. But you can start building skills anytime you want. So if you're interested in 10 different things, kind of prioritize, be like, this is the year for this thing. So my thing this year is running a marathon, so I will not be here by next year.
All right, let's give one big cheer for Laila and her amazing rockstar.
Thank you.